Hello everyone, hope we are well. Today we're going to be recreating an effect by the artist UON Visuals. He has this kind of trippy Mario thing going on. And the thing that we're going to be focusing on is these brick kind of trippy geometric pattern things in specific. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is go into Photoshop and then crop out the pattern. He was the original. And then you're going to crop this out so that way you get this. If you're not familiar with cropping, it's pretty easy. You can just look it up. And then what you're going to also need to do is create a black background and then add a curves adjustment and crank it all the way up onto this. You want to just create an alpha layer. And then you're going to save that as a separate image. And then you're going to take a gradient and put that on top of this image, so that way we get this kind of colorful effect right here. Take a gradient. Boom. And then, drop that down to about, 75% or so. Set it to lighten. Or you could set it to normal too. Either one kind of works. So then we're going to go into Blender. Delete that cube. Delete that image and set it to cycles. And then File, Import Images as Planes. And if you don't have images as planes, you can just go to your preferences and then do Import Images as Planes. So go to Import Images as Planes and then get this texture. Let's see. Set this to textured RZ -90, and then Shift A. Oh no, we already have a camera. So Control Alt Numpad 0 to get the camera, and then GY to bring it in, GZ to bring it down. And now I'd set this to rendered to see how it looks. Go to the node editor. Okay, so it should look something like this. And what we're going to do is, right now the alpha is set from the image, but we want to use our alpha that we created in Photoshop. So we're going to hit Shift D. Open this. And what this does is it takes these, so the white values, it maps on to reveal this, and then the black values are mapped onto the transparency, so that way the rest of this image is transparent, and we get this result, which we want. We could change this to an emission shader, so hit X, Shift A, shader, emission. There we go. And now, to kind of animate the colors, we're gonna add a hue and saturation. So Shift A, hue and saturation, and then click I, insert keyframe. Let's make this about 100 keyframes. And then let's make this animate, I don't know, 10 times. See how that looks. It's kind of choppy because it's rendering, but we want something kind of fast. So the next thing is there's these little lines at the corner of the panel. We're going to add a graph editor. Hit A, and then A again, T, linear. So that way, see before you had this curve, so it'll kind of be like sped up and slowed down at different times. But we want it to be linear, so that way the speed is consistent throughout the duration of the animation. Okay. So now what we're going to do is one of my favorite techniques for creating trippy effects. We're going to use nothing but an empty and the array modifier. So Shift A, add empty plane axis. I'm going to place this. Okay. Click on the square, hit Shift S, cursor to selected, hit Shift A, add an empty, and then drag it there a little bit. Actually, we could keep it there just for the beginning of the animation. Add an array, uncheck this relative crap, and then for object offset, we're going to apply an empty, and then hit Control A, and then apply the rotation. And then we're going to hit I, lock rot scale, and go to the end, I, lock rot scale. Okay, so now here's where the fun part kicks in. Change this to a 3D view so we can fuck around. Okay. We're going to add 9 renditions. For some reason, this is kind of embarrassing because I'm the tutor, but I keep getting this like black screen whenever I do 10. I mean at 9 it's fine, but for some reason when I get 10 it screws it up. But anyways, we'll have to work with 9 for now. But if there's anybody who is more advanced than me, because I'm obviously still kind of a noob, yeah, that would be much appreciated. But 9 works for now, just to kind of display this technique, just for the purpose of demonstration. Okay, so to get this kind of zoomy effect, what we're going to do is take the empty and grab it by the y-axis, and then hit I, lock rot scale. And then to get things a bit more crazy, we're going to grab the empty and rotate it all over the place. So hit 1 on the numpad in this screen, and then hit R, and then G to kind of drag it, kind of fine tune it, get something you like. I've set this to materials just so it's easier on my viewport, so that way the tutorial doesn't crash. Hit I, lock rot scale, go to frame like 50 or so, then we can rotate it again. I, lock rot scale, then we can go like, I don't know, 80. I, lock rot scale. Pretty cool. So then, and then in the curve section, you're going to hit A twice, and then hit T, set the keyframes to linear. And then if you're going to, if you want to actually render this out and put it into After Effects and throw something in the background or something, you're going to go to this camera window and then put your files to the output and then click animation. All right, so this is today's effect. I hope you're pleased with it. If you have any more effects from, I don't know, like music videos or other motion graphics artists or something that you want to submit, you can just tweet at us or email us, thefocusshift@gmail.com, or send it to our Focus Shift Facebook page. And if you're watching this and you are a patron, thank you. I appreciate you supporting the channel. And if you aren't a patron yet, but you would like to get early access to these tutorials, really helps the channel, you can sign up in the description below. Thank you. Have a good week.